Hey there YouTube friends, Alex here, back to do another thread response today. This is to another one of the Grecian Thunder's amazing threads. I think this is his third one now, and it's called Baby's Oral Convention. And just had such a blast replying to his last thread, I thought I'd get up my response to this one. And the questions were equally as good. But before I get to that, I just wanted to say that I've been off YouTube now for about a week, just over a week, and I'm glad to say that a lot has kind of transpired in my life in this past week, and my exams have now come and gone, and my last exam was actually on Friday. I've had 4 or 5 days off now, and it's been really weird actually trying to kind of come to terms with the fact that I don't have to revise anymore. I don't have to put in hours and hours of hard work every day of revision, and it's been strange really, because I'm still in that state of mind of revision and work. So it's actually really great when I finally realise, and it suddenly clicks, that I don't have to do that stuff anymore, and I can finally get back to doing the stuff I love to do, and just kind of really gearing up now for an amazing summer. I've got lots and lots planned, but hopefully included in that will be tons and tons of listening to music and buying records, and hopefully getting back to posting lots of videos on a much more regular basis. And that's something I'm really looking forward to doing, because as much as I've been watching lots of videos on YouTube over the past few weeks, but I feel like I've maybe become a little bit disconnected with some of the threads that have been going around and stuff. So looking forward to kind of catching up this week, and I'll definitely have more videos up, lots more in the coming weeks. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Also, you probably noticed I added a new intro in, like a 7-second thing I made, took me like 5 minutes on Movie Maker, and really the reason for that is that I've stopped using the editing software I was using on my iPhone, which was iMovie for iPhone, and it's really kind of basic software that was really starting to piss me off, really, because I just didn't find it very user intuitive. It restricted me to short video clips, and that meant I had to keep starting and stopping all the time. You probably noticed that in some of my videos. So I've just scrapped all that and gone back to basics, and hopefully my videos will be a bit more fluid now, and I won't have to cut the video and start it again. So yeah, so that's that, and get into these questions. But first, playing in the background is this right here. This is Bob Dylan, the Whitmark demos, 1962 to 1964. This is volume 9 of his bootleg series that I think this came out at the tail end of last year, and really great music, some of the best he ever made, and if you're in the market for a Dylan bootleg, this one's definitely one to consider. That's what's playing in the background, and I'll jump right into the first question, which was do you smell your records? Great question. And I have to say, I do not smell my records, and it's just not something that kind of crosses my mind when I buy a record. I don't feel the need to smell it. The only time that I would smell a record is if it's an older record, maybe from the 50s or 60s, something that's really old, and I have no idea why, but there's something quite alluring about an older record or an older book. There's something that kind of draws you in, and you start doing some quite strange things, I guess. And I have been known in the past to smell older records, and I don't know why that is, but as I say, it's just something that seems kind of natural, since it seems like the right thing to do. And so with older records, from time to time I will smell them, but newer records, it's just not something I feel the need to do. But yeah, that's question one. Question 2 was, do you look at a record's inserts whilst listening to the record or before you play the record? I have to say that this question, another great question, but it's not something I can really answer, because I don't go through a kind of fixed routine when I listen to my records. You know, it's not like I get a record home, put it on the turntable, sit back in the seat in the same position and you know, get the insert out and read it whilst listening to the record. It just doesn't happen like that with me. It's kind of a much more random, varied thing. Like I go through different stages, and you know, sometimes I'll, you know, put a record on and lay back on my bed and close my eyes and listen to it that way to try and kind of absorb myself into it. Sometimes I'll sit on the seat and just, you know, relax to it. Sometimes I'll get the insert out and read it. Sometimes I'll read the lyrics at the same time. Sometimes I'll, you know, wander around the room whilst listening to the music. So it's a really quite a random thing for me. So there's not really a fixed routine in that respect. So yeah, in terms of inserts, I'll always make an effort to read the insert, because there's normally some really interesting stuff on there, and whether it be lyrics, information about the band, you know, that it's all good stuff, and it's all, you know, what we would call record candy, you know. So it's the stuff we all love, and yeah, always something I'll make an effort to do is read the insert, but it's you know, I don't kind of systematically, you know, read the insert whilst listening to the record or before, you know, or after. It's just something I'll make an effort to do at some point. But yeah, that's question 2. Question 3, do you clean your records? And this was a really interesting one for me. Watching some responses to this, I've really got some awesome tips on cleaning records. But yeah, regrettably, this is really one of my faults, I guess, as a record collector. I do not clean my records. I do not have a tool for cleaning records. I've seen lots of people already post their responses and show their little tools that they have, you know, for removing dust from the record. And you know, that some people have you know, dedicated record cleaners. People like Dan in Canada. I saw him show his record cleaner a while ago, and yeah, definitely something that is a fault of mine, and I have to get round to sorting out. I mean, now that I've got some free time, it's definitely something I'm gonna sort out and hunt down one of those tools, because it seems like kind of an essential thing. Because the last thing I really want to do is compromise, you know, how the music sounds and how the record sounds by not removing, you know, the dust and the crap that accumulates on records. So yeah, something I really need to get around to doing. But yeah, been interesting watching responses and watching how you guys clean your records as well. It's been great to watch. Question 4 was, do you have to be alone when listening to records? Another great question, and I have to say that my answer to this one is plain and simple. It's yes, that I do definitely much prefer being alone when I listen to my records, and I think the reason for that is that, you know, when I listen to a record with a friend or, you know, a member of my family, I find it to be quite a almost stressful experience, because for some odd reason, I focus way more on whether they're liking the music than whether I'm liking it, and it almost gets to the point where, you know, I'm completely switched off and disconnected from the music completely, and I'm focusing 100% on them, and that just seems completely pointless to me. So you know, especially with a record, I find it to be a much purer, more intimate experience if I'm on my own, and I can, you know, focus 100% of my energy on that music. And it's just something I have to be alone when I listen to records. It's always been the case. Obviously it's different at like parties and stuff when I'm with my friends. That's a completely different thing, because, you know, I treat vinyl in a completely different way to the way I treat, you know, that kind of music. So yeah, of course I like listening to music with my friends when I'm at parties and stuff, but when it comes to vinyl, I'm very strict in the fact that I have to be alone. And another thing is that, you know, there's been some people that have commented on you know, why I collect records, and some people just simply, you know, don't understand why in this day and age a 17-year-old would want to spend all their money on records. And you know, have had comments from some people who are just curious, you know, as to why I collect records. And you know, my kind of attitude towards that is that I couldn't care less, you know, if people seem to think it's kind of stupid or pointless collecting records, because, you know, I know in my mind that they're the ones missing out. They're the ones that are suffering, not experiencing vinyl. And, you know, I think they could get so much more pleasure from their music if they just gave vinyl a chance. But obviously in this day and age where there's lots and lots of downloading, and you know, music is so readily available for pretty much everybody, I completely understand why vinyl isn't a practical or convenient, you know, solution. But yeah, I'm definitely not influenced by what anyone says. I'm you know, adamant that vinyl is the purest form of music, and yeah, hopefully more people will realise that over time. But yeah, that's pretty much my response to question 4. Okay, the final question was, do you prefer listening to music through headphones or your speakers? I think I have to say that since I got my turntable and my speaker system, which you can see behind, I've pretty much listened to all of my music through those speakers. I have got one of these like adapter things for plugging into my headphones, but I don't often use it because, you know, my speakers are perfectly good, and yeah, it sounds I think best through the speakers. So when it comes to vinyl, yeah, it's probably about 95% of it is played through the speakers. But obviously, you know, like a lot of you, I'm sure, have iPods and things like that, MP3 players, and enjoy listening to music on the go. And I've been one to do that for a long time now. I used to listen to pretty much all of my music on my iPod before getting into vinyl. So I still do have a use for headphones, and the headphones I actually have here, these are standard over-ear headphones, cost me I think something like 25 quid, so pretty cheap, and they're called Urbans. I don't know if they're aimed at like younger people or kids or something, but they seem to do a perfectly good job. So yeah, I tend to use these you know, at night time when I can't play music through my speakers, or as I say, when I'm out and about and want to listen to music on my iPod, then I'll use these. But vinyl, it's definitely a job for the speakers. So yeah, that's the 5 questions. Another great thread from Andreas. Really enjoy his threads, and keep posting them, man, because it's a joy responding, and yeah, putting it in your words, it's really great to kind of delving deeper into our obsession and our love for vinyl. It's I really feel like these questions really do that. So yeah, keep them coming. Probably be back. I'll definitely be back later today with another thread response, and as I say, many more videos over the coming days and weeks. And until then, I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.